What's up everyone, Arctic here, bringing you guys a brand new Titanfall gameplay. This is Hardpoint on Angel City from the beta. This is the last day. I kind of talked about it, as you guys can see. I'm using an amped LMG, as I talked about burn cards in my last commentary. And this actually happens to be the very last day of the beta, so I was using up everything. I only had one amped LMG, which was one of the only weapons I think that weren't actually a weapon that you can choose in the beta, but you could access it through the burn cards. There may be more, but you know, I don't know for sure. There could be a couple others, but nevertheless, this game was particularly interesting because it was one of the ones where I got a Titan and I did pretty well with the Titan. And I'm thinking about doing some Titan gameplay only type things where I cut out the gameplay and just kind of focus on the Titans. But it prompted me to kind of want to do a commentary about the maps. There's a couple different sources. I had Spoons actually send me his video. I listened to it. It's pretty good. I'll put the link down in the description. You can listen to the new maps. That'll be, when I say new, the launch maps that will be with Titanfall. I think there's 14 in total. We talked about it on Frag Logic a little bit, but I'm pretty excited to see how Respawn handles the dichotomy, big word, between you know, pilots and mechs, and how their map design kind of flows with it. You know, overall, I think they did a very good job with Angel City. Fracture, I'm a little like, if you guys kind of heard me, it's my least favorite map that I've played so far. I actually like I think the training level is more enjoyable, just for me, than than Fracture. And it's only one reason, and that's because in certain areas you can't utilize the pilot movement at all, so you're very exposed. And I'm kind of hoping that more maps play like Angel City, where there's a good balance between both, and less like Fracture, where it seemed like, you know, Titans could basically rule anywhere between B and C, and A was kind of more of a pilot focused area, just kind of based on how it was, the layout of it was. And when I say that, I don't mean necessarily that pilots didn't have an area to hide or play in the other spaces. I'm talking purely about this space that you have to jump between different points. So if you were going from A to B on Fracture, you couldn't really do too many routes. It's basically you go by that winding path, or the alley is what we call it, and you jump from there to B. And sometimes you can make it, sometimes you can't, sometimes people take that cliff, but it's very focused on that specific area of the map. You don't really see too many people try jumps from the initial spawn at A over to C, because the pathing there isn't very apparent, and it was a lot more difficult to really successfully do any jumps without running across open field. So you got no momentum boost from you know, taking that route. And the same thing could be said from going from like C to B in some areas, or from C to A. There was just nothing you could really do. Now, in this map, Angel City, you can basically take the middle of the map, several routes actually. You can go far side left, middle, or you could go far side right, all within that condensed area of the buildings, and basically wall jump from one area to the other. Now, that pivotal area, regardless of where you go, is kind of this building at B. On both sides, you can use it to jump around and get to different places on the map. On the outskirts of the map, where there's not a whole lot of action, there's nothing really there. So I think not necessarily by this spawn, but I guess where I just spawned, if you go back behind there in that area, there's still buildings there that you can jump around on. But if you go into this grassy area, straight ahead of this street and behind the buildings that we see in front of us, there's nothing you can really jump on that's going to continue a wall run. I think there's actually a wall there. You can kind of continue running along it, but you're going to be very exposed. So it's not something I would recommend. So really, this map happens to be very, very good overall for just you know, moving around the map and staying mobile as a pilot, but also feeling threatened in certain cases by Titans because they're roaming the streets. There's obviously C is a very good Titan centric area, whereas Fracture seems like it's heavy Titan domination because there's so many different open spots, and you are forced to play almost at a lower level, I'd say, on B and parts of B, and to some extent A, because A has obviously A has that helipad, but if you're going in between those areas, there's nothing that's really beneficial for you to set up Titan pilot to Titan kills. So that's the best way I've kind of can analyze it based on those two maps. So I'm hoping that with the maps that release, we'll see more maps that are designed around, I guess, Angel City's flow for both pilots and Titans. And again, I think there are 14 maps. I've seen some pictures of a couple of them, leaked images or whatever, and they seem like they're going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of variety in what we see, but I just don't know which maps are going to favor what style of play. Obviously, I think if they go something like 7-7 or just have like a majority of them be suitable for both, that would be great. But I don't really feel like there's a map that won't have Titan play as something that's viable, because the maps are going to all have to be pretty big in order to accommodate the Titans. So they could easily be not favorable for pilots, but I don't really see that going in the opposite direction for Titans. So I guess that's where I'm trying to go with this commentary, is kind of making people like, hey, I wonder what is going to, what kind of flow is going to happen with a lot of these maps, and how you're going to be able to maneuver around them. Because I want to do a whole bunch of wall running and jumping off of everything around the map. I guess early game, mid games, I kind of want to establish control and work with my Titan a little bit. And then late game, I can do either or, whatever I find to be beneficial. And I think Angel City really, really nails that. So I'm really glad they showed this map off during the beta and made it playable. I also think they had it as an option in the alpha, but I can't remember. I don't know if it was the same section, or maybe I just wasn't really jumping around and paying attention to what all was at my disposal. This is an absolutely horrible play on my part. I don't know. I think I wanted to jump in and then immediately jump off of that my Titan, but for whatever reason I hit X and jumped in and then got destroyed when I was getting hit. I mean, that had to be a mispress on my point, because I don't see why I would do that. Thinking about it, I can't even tell you guys why that would make sense to me to do. Wow, I made that jump into the window without actually hitting a ledge. Amazing. That is another thing that kind of bothers me, but I'll talk about that in some separate videos. But yeah, essentially I just wanted to kind of talk about map design, map flow with you guys. Obviously, I think game modes are going to have a big play in how some of these maps are perceived. We're really excited for Capture the Flag type map, and I also like Hardpoint because you have to learn the paths to find the points the fastest very quickly. So if you don't know those, then obviously in Hardpoint you're going to suffer by not having very quick movement and being able to get from a very bad spawn into a position that will put you and your teammates in a point to win. It's pretty important. So Hardpoint, you've really got to pay attention to where you spawn and know routes. Otherwise, you're going to lose. And that just can't be said for Fracture. Like if you spawn at A, there's no way you're going to get to B except by going that one route all the time. So it's really easy to lock down because people aren't going to be bouncing in different directions or trying different routes because there's no opportunity to do so really. So those are kind of concerning, and obviously flag routes on any type of capture the flag would be insanely fun. So I'm really excited to at least try it out. But that's all I got for this gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really want to know what you guys think about map design, map flow. And until the next time, I will catch you later. Peace.